So that she had no idea our fifth cow won by a hair. It looks on this platform like you're making money.
Yeah. At first, I was at 890,000. I said, wow, let's go. You're going to be a millionaire.
Former scammer John says victims are usually allowed to withdraw a bit to encourage bigger investments.
Once the money withdraw, always be approved, and until the third time or fourth time, while the amount is bigger.
That's called the swap.
Yes, ma'am.
Making a big
Hello.
withdrawal and her account is suddenly frozen. Robin says it's because she hasn't made a trick.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We've kind of been occupado or occupied with other things, and a little bit ¿cómo se dice lazy? Miss Munoz. All right. Well, I guess
Haragana.
paragana. So I guess that's another word for lazy too, but I don't know it.
Haragana.
Paragana. Is there another easier word? I know. All right.
Keep it moving.
Paragana. So we've been a little lazy. And so it's my turn now. And we're gonna do our review. But first, before I start, I'm gonna ask you to like, subscribe, thumbs up, give us a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, just write them in the comments and we will get to your question.
The other word is perezosa.
Perezosa. All right. These all sound like 5-letter words to me, but okay. Anyway, so by the way, I got out of half of my McDonald's thing. Because it went down a little bit. I should have got out when it was like closer to 84. But hey, it is what it is. So let's do our review here. Today was probably an up day. So let's start with ups. Overall, I guess. I don't know, it was probably a down day, right? Because you can look at the CNBC website to see what it was overall, Miss Munoz, but so we had Intel that did very well. Intel has been for lack of a better term, under the weather. It has been going down. They've had a lot of problems. So this right here, they didn't lose money, but 80% miss is never going to be good.
Did you want to say that NVIDIA had earnings? And maybe that's why it bumped a little bit because NVIDIA's earnings weren't that great.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is that it's in the gutter. So anything, it could have come up because of NVIDIA. It could have come out just because it came out. But it's so much in the gutter that I don't think it really matters. We got to go back to basically 2013, 2012, and that's not going to be good. So, whatever it was only like 3% and change, and it wasn't anything good. So, do I think it's a wonderful buy? Yes, I do. Would I buy it? Maybe, but if I had already bought it when it was at the $30 level, then no, I wouldn't. unless I can average my price very close to $20, like between $20 and $23 or something like that. I still think it's a good buy, especially at this price, long term, aka 2+ years, because I don't think Intel's going anywhere. But if you were telling me it's going to get back to the price it was in 2012, I would have been saying you're lying. So that's that. If you want to buy it, if you have a cash account or a long-term account, you want to get 100 shares at this price, I'm not against it. I think it's probably long-term, probably a good deal. But yeah, just don't be thinking you're gonna become Elon Musk or a billionaire or something like that in the next couple of months. This is basically 2+ years, probably closer to 5 years out. Square, who cares? Snowflake, I'm still in this caca. Everything was very nice on it.
It went up today.
Huh?
It did good today.
It did okay.
How
It
how
it
much?
came up. Yes, it did much better, but it's the issue is it's at this area, and it's yeah, I don't know why, and it seems like it's been hitting, and yes, it did miss and for Q1, but even when it was hitting, it really stayed kind of like in this area. So I'm a little bit surprised it made a hit this time, and then it just okay, seems like it's continuing to go down or it won't jump up. So I don't get it. I thought a win this time for earnings would bring it up, and it looked like it gapped it back down. So I'm hoping that we can start to come up and at least get close to, like 220, 225. I still have some belief in it, but I don't know what's going on. But I'm glad to see this though. Or this for snow, almost 3. Roku, who cares? American, it looks like I have an alarm on here. Um, it's still down in the gutter, but it has improved greatly. So if you were one of the people who got it at around close to 9, you made over $1. But that's over $1 within what is this, 20 days, 20, plus days. That's not a lot of money, and that's a waste of your time. So if you want this long term, yeah, get it at $9, $10 and go to town on it and just hold it. Peton, we know what the deal is here. I'm still holding on to this because obviously it's fake news. It got to 5,
I
and
thought you got out.
oh yes, you're right. I did get out. Yes, sorry about that. I got out when it had a little bit of downturn the other day. I kind of want to get back in, but it's I think it is a good deal to come back down. I just want to see it's gonna do a pop up again. Still losing money like crazy, but because it's losing less money, people are okay with it. That's still not the fundamentals on this. It's still not good. That's still a bad sign, and it's still a hard short. The only way this is gonna come up if it gets squeezed up, which people can do, especially when it's in this price. So that's the only thing we have to be careful about. If it goes up more than just filling this gap, let's say 550, 560, you got to be careful and be willing to get out, because then it's just a squeeze play. And so that's all I'll say. It's just I like the fact that it's going down. When it hit 5 and did a little jump up, it didn't stay there. It is going down like it's supposed to. So that's a good sign that people aren't squeezing it, but be aware that it could be a squeeze. Mensana, Apple. So yeah, this is basically always a good buy. It came back down to $200. People didn't know what was going to happen, and then it has come back up. So you could have easily, basically made $30 in the past, 20 to 26 or whatever days, versus the other airline, AAL, it would have been $1. So this is a difference between a good company and a not so good company. $1 over the course of 25 days versus $30 over the course of 25 days. That tells you everything you need to know. So yeah. Be careful now because we're getting to that top again, this 36 level. So it could come back down, fade, go towards the $2,200 level, and then, just kind of be careful that, hey, yes, it could shoot past this, but this was resistance before. It could be resistance again, most likely it will be to some degree. So just don't go cray-cray. Be mindful that it could come back down. But if you see it getting back to 200 and the market's still good, you may want to take advantage. So yeah. Car, Avis. This is Donkey Kaka. But we'll look at the daily because we like this. And it's just boom, 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 going down. Earnings bad. It will go down to its mean, which we already know and you guys are aware of, but we'll show you again just because I just like to do it. This is what its mean is basically. Prior to COVID, this is where we were at. Like, if I want to be nice about it, I'll say, oh, it got up to $50. So we have another good $30. But like all stocks, if you want to short it, buy it on a bounce. So let's wait. It had a good day today. Maybe see if you can get it at $100. A bounce up, a nice bounce up of 100. Get it then, and then short it. Macy's is slowly going down, but it's doing it fairly nicely. I thought it would just drop like a rock. And I like the fact that it's taking its time, giving people a chance to get in, even make a little money a little bit. But when it does drop, it drops. We did have less revenue sales, but over 76%, almost 77%, it outshined for earnings. So Macy's is doing something right. And this is for Q2. So it's not like this is freaking Christmas or something. Q4, Q2, it's what is that? April, May, June. Come on. Who's buying a lot of Macy's caca during this time? So I think that tells you everything you need to know there. I don't know. This is trending up, obviously, but and I think it's gonna shine. It's gonna break out soon. I think it's good for a breakout. This was a wonderful day. I'd love if it comes back down to this level again. I don't know if that will happen, but I like it for a breakout long term. And the only thing I would say is like we talked about that, see if you can get it at this level, or God forbid it comes back down here a little bit, but I don't think he's gonna get here. I think at best you'll get around this 115, 116 level, and then it'll break out again. But I do like it, and I think it's something that we should put on our notice, Miss Munoz. Live Who Cares, GE. We don't trade Boeing. I told you guys I wasn't getting into Boeing until it at least gets down to this probably 120 level. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but I don't know. I can't go with Boeing. I'm just like, it's not a risk that's worth taking. But Boeing had a 1% day. Amazon, another 1% day. Amazon's just another good company. Obviously this drop here was nice. This is another thing from earnings. So even if you did terrible, you see you had a nice drop here. Oh, let me get it at close to 150, or let's say 155. Let's not be crazy. Or you know what? Let's just say 160. Okay. Over the past few days, you could have got out 160 at 180. That's $20. So it's not like, oh, Apple gave you $30, Amazon it gives you $20. So this big gap down, no matter what, a company like
And
this,
also it's cheaper than Apple, so you could probably get a
yes,
little bit more shares. So
yes,
even if it's $20, because you could purchase more, you could probably make about the same amount of money.
that's actually a really good point. So when you see a very good company that you know the fundamentals are good, Apple, Amazon, if it does this crazy gap, earnings are good, there's no good reasons, hey, take advantage. Get, 10 to 100 shares, whatever you can afford, and just stay with it for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and look, you'll get rewarded. You don't even have to go crazy. Just, hey, when you get a gift like this, take advantage of it. This gap down for earnings, it was a gift because a lot of people, they were probably saying, oh, earnings going to be great and it's going to go up or whatever and go up to over 200. They do that, people. So they do that to trick people for earnings so that they can say, oh, let's gap down so we can get it at a cheaper price. This is just, hey, I want to get this at a cheaper price. So you be smart and you get it at a cheaper price. Look what's going on right now, people, with NVDA. And I'll just put that as a more recent example to show you. Oh, NVDA is gonna go to the moon, they're saying. The day of, it's gonna go up to $200. Okay, that's the okie doke. Okay, it has good earnings. It's a great company. And what do? They gap it down. Oh, let's drop it down. It closed at like, 125 or something like that. Boom, we're going to gap it down and it's going to go to like freaking 117. You say, oh, shoot, if I don't get in today, maybe I get in tomorrow, the next few days or two, because when you see it start to come back, get in it because you know it's fake news. So because more than likely it's going to come back up here. But then you can get in. Don't be afraid to jump in after the fact. You jump in before. If you listen to the clowns are going to steer you in the wrong direction. But if you wait for the dust to settle, you can get in and make some money. And this goes when it's going up or when it's going down. If they had wanted it to gap up, they would have been like, oh, it's too frothy. It's going to come down, blah, blah, blah. You wait for the dust to settle after earnings and then you're like, man, earnings was good. It's nothing wrong with this company. This is freaking NVDA. So then you use your common sense. You jump in, you stay in for a few days and make a few dollars. That's all. Softy, a little bit under a percentage point. Softy has come down quite a bit. It was on its way to like $500, got over the 450 level, and now the 50-day moving average is turning, and it got down basically to 386. That's not a real level because it didn't even get to this 375 level or this, 340 or whatever level. It just kind of came down a little bit. This level is probably this level right here that we're looking at. This right around $400. It came down a little bit lower. It then started to come back up. The next thing is it going to continue to come down? Okay. Okay, it did a beat in both cases, but not that great. I tend to think this is coming down somewhat. But let's see how much you can get it, how high you can get it. If you can get it closer to the 450, um, you know, do it. But earnings was not as good for Softy as some of the other tech companies. And even though if you thought like, oh my God, it came down, this was, 465, whatever. It came down to freaking under 400. That's like freaking $80. Oh, I missed it. No, you still have a nice chance. Put yourself maybe a few shares, 5 shares at 450. Maybe at the top here, 475. Just put yourself a few shares. It will come back down. Okay. Tesla, it's been acting crazy as usual. So Tesla, if you got the drop right here, here, and then here, if you got this drop, you made some money. A lot of people think this is still coming back down, that we're still going to get back here. So wait and see how far this goes, but you still have a chance to get back in. It's coming back down again. Is it going to go past this level, get up to here? Who knows? But this is still a nice chance. I wish it was turning more, but hey, what can you do? But yeah, it's watch this one because I think this is another one that you have a chance it's gonna keep going down. Yeah, this is a big miss right here. Uber, who cares? Bank of America. It's a bank. It's a big bank. It's going to do okay. This did basically what a freaking Softy did. So this is probably coming down to Nikete. Let's see how that is. So this is another thing. Nike, even though it wasn't that strong, and it's been on a downturn, this was a really, really good price. It was near 70. It basically touched 70. Like we talked about this, like it got down to 60 for COVID, but before that, the last time it was at this 70 price was kind of like 2018. So it is a very, very good price. And it wasn't going to go down to COVID when they were shut down. That wasn't realistic. But, if you got it, yes, it stayed here at this area for a little bit. But if you got it, let's say the beginning of the month, oh, looky here. Now you're back up. over like over $13. So, this was something else that you could say, hey, this is a good company. It did pretty good. Why is it going down crazy? Like Steve, this doesn't make sense. Even if you got in at 72, let me stay in for a little bit. Or, oh, it hit 70, it started to come up. Get back in it. Don't be afraid. You know? Walmart, now that's up in the sky now. And we said this was gonna happen. It was in this area for the longest time. It's 60, 60, 60. We did our split. We're gonna stay at 60. And then boom. All right, this was in May. Now come back later. Oh yeah, we're $15 up. The only thing I don't like about Walmart is just it takes this sweet time and you just have to wait. This is a stock you have to be in for the long term. So you have to say, oh, the split happened. I don't know, the split was probably around between here and here or something like that. And it stayed, for the longest at this around this bounce around this 60. It just stayed here. But you knew eventually it was going to go up like gangbusters. So this would have been a stock that you said, hey, I want to get out at 70, 80, $100, and you just put your out wherever it is, and when it gets there, it gets there. But you're gonna have to wait because Walmart makes you wait. That's how they do things. Disney, we got down to a low of like 85, 84 and change. And now who knows? Not sure if it's coming back. If I was going to buy it, I'd probably let it hit 80 and then buy it again. Because this, I don't know where this is. Like this is the top of this area, but I would want it to hit 80. So if I was doing it, that's where I would buy it. Meta's strong, healthy. It's still very much over 500. I do feel it's gonna drop, but I have been totally wrong about everything with Meta. So if you take my advice, you're basically taking the advice of Diablo. So I'll just tell you right now, it's like listening to Diablo, the devil. So but that's still my opinion.
I actually agree with Meta that it's gonna go down. The last candle was a hanger, which signifies very weakness. And I think it's gonna start dropping.
Yes, but I have to give the caveat that you're listening to Diablo because I do have a sticking point with this thing. So that's
Uh,
another one we can put on our notice. This is one I thought for sure where this is coming back down, which I think it is, but I've been waiting too long. When we had earnings, I was like, this thing should keep going, continue to go down. It didn't. They wanted to do a bounce up and
yes,
they
and
made
this is
people wait.
what
And
people like.
so this is why sometimes, yes, you could be right, but you're wrong, Like you could be, oh, I have the analysis right, but the powers that be, the people with the large shares, the owners, they say, I was gonna say something. That I shouldn't say. They say, please, person, please, and and they say we're gonna go up anyway. So when that happens, you just have to take that hit and say you were wrong because even though you were right and this caca is going to come down, they wanted to get their money out, so they're going to say, "Person, please, um, you know, uh, we're going to go up anyway." But I think I will be proven true about this because it just doesn't make any sense, and it needed to finish I can zoom out and show it needed to finish its gappings, and so that's why I was just like, okay, well, it's just gonna come down. It had terrible earnings, but maybe it wants to come back up, finish the gappings, and then come down again. But okay, fine. That's fine. They wanted to do that for earnings. There was no reason whatsoever with earnings like this in the forecast that McDonald's had that this should have continued to go up. But hey, that's life, you know?
That's why when the market makers or the shareholders, they want to bring it up, they will bring it up.
Get
And
the hell out of the way.
you don't want to fight the trend. So I was telling Miss Green that I was like, this trend is going to go up because it just broke out. And now we have come to the conclusion, and based on our past experiences of losing money, that even if your analysis or the fundamentals based on your analysis are correct, if they want to bring it up, if they want to bring it down, that's what they're going to do. And it's better not to fight. It's
Just get the
better,
hell out of the way.
just get out and
And
get it
wait
at get it at a
until
better price.
wait
Get it at
until
a
they allow it to come in the way your analysis said it would be. Because
yes,
sometimes you could be totally right, but you're wrong because the powers that be are going to control it. And
yes,
they
get
have the
it,
number of
get out,
shares to
get out,
control it.
just get out and get a better price later. We had done an analysis on some of these BS companies, and we're like, why would these companies go up? They're losing money like crazy. Why would anybody buy fake meat? Why would anybody buy fake dog meat? But the powers that we say, hey, we're gonna trick these investors. They're gonna be pounding money in like, a waterfall. And we're gonna show them that this stock is gonna go up the yin yang. And
And
that's
then
what,
when we get ready to drop it, it gets to a price where we want to take our money and run, then we'll
yes,
do
and
that.
let them fail. That's what they're gonna do. Because people think, oh, investors, are rich. Sometimes these investors invest a lot of money, but they get jacked up, they get scammed left and right, and they keep getting scammed by the market makers. So the best thing to do, like Miss Green said, is just get out, and then you play them, you play their game, and we're like, oh, okay, you want to bring it up, let's go up. You want to bring it down, let's go down. But get out of the way if you're in the wrong trend.
EBC, this is gonna break out sooner or later. I'm hoping
I
that
hope it does.
I'm hoping that it will allow people to do another downturn before it breaks back out again. Um, but it looks like it's gonna do a breakout eventually. I just would like to get it on the downturn, at least close to 15 or something. We missed that level back here. We were trying to, this is the level, it was so strong and never got to that level. It kind of wicked down, and then since then it's just going up. But right here was the area to buy it in, and you just couldn't get in because they weren't gonna let you get it around 10 anymore. That's where it debuted at. That's where IPO'd at, and it was too strong. Should have realized that, but I was hoping they would let it come down, and so I was lackadaisical in getting it because I said, "Oh, I have plenty of time. It'll get down here, and I can get it," and that wasn't the case. Um, I'm not gonna go through all of these. Google is probably similar. Uh, yeah, it's similar, but Google had a worse day. A lot of these I think are eventually trending now. Even if they're up now, I think they're gonna be going down. The 23andMe, Open, uh, let's see, Home Depot, uh, Campbell Soup. It hit 50. It's on hard to buy now. It looks like. Uh, a Target that was probably affected by General Dollar. Um, and then Dollar Tree. Um,
You meant Dollar General, not General Dollar.
Yes, Dollar General, yes. Munoz put this on the list for along tomorrow. This is a potential watch because this was sympathy with General Dollar. It had terrible earnings, and this went down too.
She means Dollar General, guys.
Oh yes, Dollar General. I used to, so you can see this big wick up in upward direction.
Can we see the detail of it?
I'm sorry.
Can we look at the detail? Yes. At mhm.
Oh, you want to look at the 60-minute one?
60 or 1 minute.
Okay, so yeah, so this took a nosedive, but it was a sympathy with Dollar General. And we'll look at Dollar General to show you that also. So this should come up tomorrow. So if you can, 85.44 Munoz. Let's try to get in that. Let's look at Dollar G.
Can you zoom out?
I'll go back in a little bit. Dollar G. So it had a miss. So that wasn't good. Overall, it had been coming down. Let's see how low is it now. It's gone through all levels basically. It just flew through this level. And you could say, oh, I'm interested in getting back in this. It could settle at this $70 level. But that's still pre-COVID. But even though you could say, oh, well, maybe I'll get into this and this will jump back up. And that is a possibility. But I think it's just an easier play just to go with Dollar Tree because Dollar Tree is the sympathy play. And so it's easier for the sympathy play to come back up than the actual stock that had the earnings. So that's why instead of going with Dollar Tree, and it gapped down about the same amount. So let's see. This gapped down about like what? What's that? 22, 32, almost $40, $35. And let's see. DLTR. It gapped down. Let's see. And it's a smaller price. $10. So it's just much easier for this to come back. Also, it has a nice
Can you go
wick.
back in time?
It has a nice wick that's going up in the up direction, and I like it. And so I just feel that it's a good. So this is back in 2021 September. This was an area where it started to come back up anyway. But I just like this as a come up play for tomorrow. So let's put it on the notes list. And that's all I have. We only have a little bit over a minute left. I've been talking like a hyena. But when I do this, I am trying to give you information and pound in stuff that I see. Instead of just the analysis, anyone can do that, but just give you just based on the experience, my short experience that I've had, that some things that the market makers and what this system tries to do to people, just so you can take advantage of it. This Dollar Tree play up tomorrow, that sounds like a winner. There's a few others we mentioned that sound like a winner. So yeah, enjoy it and make money. And we'll see you guys probably tomorrow's Friday, so we'll probably see you Sunday. Oh no, it's a long weekend, yay! So we will see you Monday for Tuesday's market. So that's all I have, guys. Thanks. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you Monday evening, and we'll get this rolling again. Peace out, and thanks again, Munoz.